Hey everybody, Preferred Selection here with some more Terraria 1.2.4, and I'm back with the usual stuff. We just had a lot of excitement in the last couple episodes. We had a fish run fight. We had a bunch of fish run fights that went really well, got us kitted out with new gear. We had a pumpkin moon that got us just about everything we could want from the pumpkin moon if we really wanted anything, which I don't think we do. And I was just about ready to do frost moons when I looked in my inventory and realized that I had like no frost moon mats. I didn't have any ectoplasm. So I'm wondering, I looked around for any evidence that it might just be like in the wrong place or something. And from what I can tell, I just never really, like, the only evidence I could find that I've been in hard mode jungle at all, or in hard mode dungeon at all, was one shadow beam staff. So apparently I've been here because I have a shadow beam staff to prove it. But those are kind of a common drop, and you know, it doesn't. I don't think that I've misplaced a bunch of ectoplasm. I think I've just like not remembered to do hard mode dungeons. I checked my safe, I checked the logical chest it'd be in, and I just don't see anything. So I'm in hard mode dungeon. I don't really have anything that I want except ectoplasm. I could set up an ectoplasm farm. That would require shark statues, which I believe we have, and chest statues, which I'm almost sure we have. So it's definitely doable. But where does this dungeon's confusing? Where am I going? Oh, I gotta go that way to go down. Okay. Not getting a ton of ectoplasm as it stands at the moment. But yeah, we need ectoplasm. It's definitely important. So, you know, we're on a quest. We have kind of a different loadout than we're used to. I've got a warding papyrus scarab, which is giving me an extra minion, and is also increasing the damage of my minions. I'd like to get that maybe reforged menacing. I don't know. I reforged it a bunch, and I tried lucky, and that paladin went down pretty fast for us being a summoner, if I do say so myself. We got a black belt. That's kind of nice. Yeah, I basically couldn't find any evidence that we'd really been in the dungeon at all, except for that one shadow beam staff. So we've clearly touched on the dungeon, whether we got anywhere or not. I'm not great at farming the dungeon. I don't tend to like to alter it too much, so I don't make a million changes or dig out like a arena or anything, which you can certainly do as long as you don't want to mess with the walls too much, because once you start digging up dungeon walls, there's no, like, player placed walls are not. People are finding out stuff that you can do with player placed walls. It's interesting, but in short, as far as we know at the moment, player placed walls are not the same as traditional dungeon walls. So if you start ripping up your dungeon, you know, you're probably not gaining much. It's enough ectoplasm for one summon. Hey, how about that? This excites me. I was gonna say, this is actually one of the things that I wanted from down here. I have quad-digit hours in Terraria. I have so many hours in Terraria, and I have never had a Spectre Staff. I'm not even really sure what it does. I thought it was like an upgrade of Magic Missile and like Flame Lash and the Rainbow Rod. I thought it was the fourth and final. Is it not? Does it? Okay, so it homes a little bit. I thought this was like the final rainbow rod where you can control a projectile, but I clearly can't control a projectile, so I was just mistaken. But I've had multiple, I've had many Shadow Beam staffs. I've had a handful of Inferno forks, you know, not coming out the years or anything, but I've had a decent amount of Inferno forks. But I've just never had a, whatever this Spectre staff, I've never had it. It seems kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not super impressed with the 88 damage is a lot, but it's just a lot of mana for not having any Celestial Cuffs or anything like that equipped at the moment, and also not being in a mage armor. Like I really am tempted to loan this to one of my main characters now so that I can experience the joy of having... Where are enemies? Come on, enemies. So I can experience the joy of having this and actually having it be good. I think you just need to be anywhere that Rusty Armored Bones are to get it. But I'm always farming Paladins, and I think maybe Rusty Armored Bones and Paladins are in the same spot. I think you need to be where Blue Armored Bones are, but I could be entirely mistaken. Yeah, this is not going at a great pace. I might... Like, I don't... So I know that I could put up a Mimic statue and a Shark statue, and I could get this Ectoplasm a lot faster. I don't think that it makes for the most interesting content, and I've already shown you guys how to do that. Like, it would be exactly the same as my Jellyfish Grinder, except the enemies would be a little beefier, so I might add a little bit more damage to it, but very similar to the Jellyfish Grinder I built. Yeah, I believe every wall has its own teleporting caster in hard mode, and when you're in the area where there's all the fiery skeletons, you get the Inferno Fork, and if you're in the area where there's like the blue guys, which seems to be really common usually for me in dungeons, you get the... I don't like these spiky balls because they take up spawn rate, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the blue guys, you get the casters who drop the Shadow Beam staff, and then I don't even know what the enemy looks like, honestly, but an enemy that fires, I assume this, shows up where the Rusty Armored Bones are. I think I've had this fired at me before, kind of recall it. It makes you, like, go... It has like a blind or like a dark effect, right? Hey, Magnet Sphere, not a good reforge, but this is a cool weapon. See if I can show it off on this, if I can get this enemy to cooperate. That was confusing. It's gonna be hard to tell what this does with 6 Sharknadoes out, but it's a really annoying process to resummon them, so show it off as best as I can. It's a pretty good weapon. Recently was using it against the Golem a bunch with a friend of mine. You get a little ball of thingy that shoots really rapid fire, not homing actually homing. It doesn't look like traditional homing, but it is homing. The sharks are just doing too... You know the summoner's good when the shark's just doing too much damage to... There you go, you saw a little bit of the weapon in action. See how it shoots at those guys? It's almost like a worse version of our Sharknado when you think about it. You know, and there's a Shadow Beam guy in the area that I was expecting to get the guy who shoots the Spectre Staff thingy. So I'm just all confused about what you have to do to get... what do you have to do to get the guy who drops the Spectre Staff to show up, but I'm sure I can find it on some wiki, or I can ask someone who knows. There's always good people hanging out on the subreddit. I probably said this before, but I'll say it again. If you ever have to check a wiki for Terraria info, you want to be checking the Gamepedia wiki. You don't want to necessarily go on the Wikia. The Wikia has accurate information sometimes, it usually does not. Well, I shouldn't say usually does not, but it has some errors versus the very few errors on Gamepedia. The only times that I really like the Wikia more than Gamepedia is when I want to find out about like individual wings and stuff. Sometimes Gamepedia can get a little bit too overzealous about merging pages, and they decide, hey, wouldn't it be cool if all the wings were on one page? Because who needs different pages for wings, you know? Speaking of, we just got a bone feather. Yeah, most of the time, Gamepedia is the place to be. It's pretty accurate. It's pretty good about letting knowledgeable people. I saw something on there that was wrong recently, and I went to go change it, and I was expecting it to be a big hassle. A lot of times, wiki communities can be very inclusive, and they don't want you to be in their business. But no, they were super nice. They were just, you know, I posted in the talk section, I was like, this doesn't make sense. And someone was like, you're right. And that was it. They went and changed it for me, and you know, I could have changed it. I didn't want to mess. But anyway, the Wikia community, or the Gamepedia community, seems really nice. And the Wikia community I have no idea about. I haven't messed with them. Not saying that they're bad or anything. I just haven't ever tried to edit anything on the Wikia. So maybe I'm comparing apples and oranges. I remember once upon a time the Wikia seemed to like show up higher in the search rankings, and now it seems like Gamepedia almost always does, which I'm very glad for, because it is, you know, just who I would want you guys getting the info from. This is, of course, the easier place to get armor polish. As you saw, we just got armor polish. If you don't care about having Ankh Shield pre-Plantera, then you can wait until you have hard mode dungeon and get it from Blue Armored Bones. But obviously you want your Ankh Shield before you fight, you know, the mech bosses in Plantera, so you know, go to your Ankh Shield stuff like right away. Not right away, but you know, you guys remember the Ankh Shield, all that obnoxiousness. It's worth doing when you're the time to go after Ankh Shield aggressively is when you're a piece or two away from done with it. And if that happens before you are even like thinking about, you know, maybe you get really lucky and it happens early, you know, don't feel like you need to wait until Plantera is dead. Just go and kill the cavern or underground enemy that also drops armor polish. They're only slightly more rare, and they're really not that hard to... You can probably make a farm for them. I've never gone quite that far. Although I've had farms where they were one of the enemies that could show up. Zuki guy just took a bunch out of us, but I'm feeling good about our setup. Like, a lot of the damage we've taken is just from spikes, and I'm really not feeling that threatened. And you know, we've got 50 defense, which is nothing, you know, nothing bad or anything. It's reasonable. Maybe I'll go to like 21 ectoplasm, because at 21 I can make 4 Frost Moon summons, and I can also have an extra one, which I can put in my piggy bank and be like, hey, this is where you keep ectoplasm. just so that I don't, or not piggy bank, but my chests, just so in the future I can know that I have ectoplasm. Kind of regretting taking up, not having water candles around here, because it seems like water candles would be speeding this along. This is going really slow. You know, reasonably slow, not really slow. We'll try it with ravens. Okay, so our summoner process, if we get rid of all these guys. Spooky armor. And then we put on all of our thingies. Summon 5 ravens at 92 damage. Swap back to Tiki armor, summon a 6th at 80. Then we get our boots on, our wings back on, our Ankh shield back on. You notice this would now only do 70. So, alright, let's, come on ravens. I'm not loving you, ravens. 5 of you are just bored, like you're just like, whatever. Come on, get them. Okay, there we go. I know Joe Price swears by ravens, so, and he does like some of the best content. I have no doubt in my mind that Joe Price is like one of the most knowledgeable people about Terraria based on the crazy stuff he posts on YouTube. So, you know, if he's says that ravens are usually better than tempests, sharknadoes, or whatever you want to call them, I'm inclined to believe him. Although not on blind faith. I'll have to see. Well, yeah, I believe him on blind faith, but you guys know that little difference between when you think someone might be right, but you're like, you know that they know what they're talking about, but you still, yeah. What is that? Blackout is what that effect is called. Yeah, you know that they know what they're talking about, but you just wonder, like, the Sharknado seems so good. Like, how can anything be better than it? It does so much damage, and it's so like, I don't know. And before I libel Joe, he will totally admit that there's many situations where the Sharknado is better than the Raven. It's just, it doesn't hit as many times as the Raven, and it's not as smart as the Raven, I guess, is the big thing against it. Also, there's some farm setups that don't work with the Raven, and that stuff is logical. That stuff I can see without, you know, and he shows off his auto farms. It's definitely clear that the Sharknadoes would not obey, would not stay where they're supposed to. How are we doing? Still at 20. Just need one more ecto. And this would be done in like, we'd be done in seconds if we bothered to build a shark farm. Which maybe I'll close the episode with, just in case anyone's wondering how to do it. Means running back here, which I don't. Whatever. It's a small world, right? Pretty sure. Also, wouldn't mind getting a wisp in the bottle anytime anyone wants to drop that. Wisp in a bottle. Is that one of those things that just like is it like Magnet Sphere where just about any enemy can drop a wisp in a bottle, or is it only very specific? We have a tabby and a black belt, so that's nice. We can. Alright, there we have our ectoplasm. Got a lot of it. I'm good here. 23 ectoplasm to my name. Now, if this quick stacks in any of the chests where I'm not expecting it to quick stack. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have any. Okay, so that makes me feel good. So, let's see, we need... Where's our souls are here. absolutely plenty of Souls of Fright. We could fight Skeletron a little bit more to get like another Skeletron Prime, sorry, to get some more Souls of Fright, but I don't see the need. I don't even know where our clock is. There's our clock. I have no idea what time of day it is. It's just morning, so no, definitely not. But do we have So we have Tiger Climbing Gear, which means that now that we have a Tabby and a Black Belt, we can make... Where is it? Yeah, right there. Tinker's Workshop. The Master Ninja Gear from... Tiger Climbing Gear is made from climbing claws and shoe spikes. It's a very good early accessory. It lets you basically cling to walls. Like, I could show it off right now, but I'll wait. Tabby allows you to dash when you tap a direction. Black Belt gives you a chance to dodge attacks. So we make this, we get a pretty good modifier. I'll swap out the Ankh Shield for it for right now. So now what I can do, let's find a wall. Yeah, I can just like cling to the side of this wall because I have the Tiger Climbing Gear would allow me to do that by myself, but now in one accessory I can get wall clinging. I can get a cool double tap to dash. This can be actually an insanely useful Fishron strategy. It can help you out versus an enraged Plantera. You know, you don't really want to be too fast versus those bosses, but you know, if you're really good with this, it can get you out of you know, range of like Ice Queen or whoever. A lot of people really like this for fighting the Dungeon Guardian because of the... I can't really show off the chance to dodge attacks, but I believe it's 10%. Oops. Oh my gosh, screwing up my setup so much by right-clicking. So yeah, Fleeting Master Ninja Gear, very good. I never end up using it, but... If you would like a... Oh, we have a Tabby, so okay. Apparently we spent a little bit of time in the hard mode dungeon, but just not very much. No bone feathers, so that's interesting. And then I guess... I can never decide if ectoplasm counts as souls or not, because it's kind of souls, isn't it? It's Soulsian, as Northern Lion would say, although he'd be talking about something entirely different. We actually need more silk. I didn't think that silk would be our... I mean, I know that we have more silk somewhere. Sorry, I don't know why I'm opening random chests. 99 blocks. Is there 99 cobwebs? Nope. For some reason I thought chest wooden walls. Sometimes I put cobwebs in there. Make it kind of like a... Trying to think a lot. You know, Piggy Bank is a place where I actually put a lot of stuff like this. And again, I'm just making sure that this doesn't quick stack because I feel very foolish. I feel very foolish indeed if I've just been like sitting on... Yeah. Not sitting on ectoplasm anywhere then. Tell me I have more cobwebs somewhere. I know I do. I think it is a material for a potion, but I didn't put it in potion mats. Not in ammo. Don't mean to get quiet on you guys. We're just looking around. I don't know why I'd be in any of these. I mean, it's really easy to get cobwebs if that's what we need. There's 2. 2 is not a huge help for us. Put our bones away, though. Here we go! A 999 important. What a very silly chest name. But I mean, I knew that we didn't have to like go grind for cobwebs. I just assumed like there's no way. There's just no way we don't have enough. Cobweb time. Oh, I thought cobwebs, or I thought silk might stack at 99. It didn't. So do we have to be in front of anything? Apparently you... What, do you have to make a naughty present at an anvil? I wonder, I'm curious, is it a workbench or an anvil? In front of a workbench, so... I have to know. Because that, if you have to make a present at an anvil, that's just like the silliest thing ever. Yep. And I guess we don't need to play with the Spectre Staff right now. It's really cool that we got it, but I don't, like, we got a flare on. We don't need this. Best weapons is gonna get a little crowded, isn't it? It's fine, we can move, get rid of some of these Razorblade Typhoons at some point. Where does Silk live? I'm gonna put Silk away just to be boss summons. Yeah, boss summon mats is where that makes sense. Naughty presents. I'll keep them on me, because I'll forget, but for now, keep them on me. By what? Who's Riley? Is our guide dead? Did we summon the Wall of Flesh? Our guide's alive. Our clothier's alive. Who was Riley? Oh, I'm as baffled as you. You guys might know what happened. I'll have to watch the instant replay to figure out who. Where did he even live? It's not like I had a Santa named Riley. It's not. I don't have my clock set to make it April whatever. Oh, did the traveling merchant die somewhere? Bet that's what happened. Okay, that's worth tracking down, actually. I wonder where he died. Yeah, that's a traveling merchant name. Sorry, we're gonna go look for his hat, because I want to know... Oh, that's too funny. He randomly died. I don't know why or where. Did he wander into kind of like this area? I'm never gonna find that hat in a million years. It's only worth 25 silver, but I don't think we have a merchant hat, so it'd be kind of nice to get it. Riley. Honestly, there's no way I'm gonna find it if I didn't. Let's see, are there other statues in here? Nope. If I'm missing it, I'm missing it, but I don't... Maybe he fell down here? This goes too far down to... an option. Nice little truffle worm farm, though. What am I doing? Don't need to be doing truffle worm. I'm surprised that hasn't spread to there. Okay. Tell you what, while we're down here, yeah. Okay, so I don't think I have any other statues. I mean, we have other statues, but I don't think I have. Let's see, we have the one chest statue. It's only, I'm pretty sure it's only sharks. It might also be skeletons, but I'm pretty sure it's only sharks and, no, I think skeletons have 60 health. And, excuse me for a second if you just don't know what I'm talking about. see chain in here a second ago? Am I crazy? No, it's probably in the engineering chest. Just trying to think of all the stuff I need to make a very quick ectoplasm farm. Every now and then I like to build farms on camera just to show that they're not super hard to build or super time consuming. So we made a gold watch out of a chain and 10 gold bar. Then we come down to our anvil, and just like you make presents at an anvil, you also smash gold watches into 1-second timers at an anvil. Just check to make sure we have everything we need. 6 spiky ball traps, the 2 lava should be enough. Go ahead and get it out now. Never get your wrench out without your wire cutters, just things happen. Now we're off to the dungeon with pretty much everything we need. Maybe we'll find Riley's corpse as we go. Really just no idea where that guy died. I kind of like the traveling merchant hat. I kind of wish I knew. So the way that you make an ectoplasm farm, ectoplasm will spawn from any enemy that, or has a potential to spawn from any enemy that is in the hard mode dungeon, which means I believe you have to be below 0 depth, below surface, or whatever below 0 depth stands for. I mix up the depths a lot, but you have to be low. You know, not if you're low enough that the dungeon guardian would come after you if you hadn't killed Skeletron, which I don't have my GPS on me, and I think it's in my safe, which I left at home, so I'm gonna have to kind of eyeball. Wish I had made that mistake. It's kind of a rough one. Maybe the music will change? Okay, so probably about here. Yeah. Let's say about here. So the same way that we made our jellyfish grinder. Make just a very simple farm. I usually like to use cactus for this. I love building things out of cactus, but in this case we'll use... I guess we'll use wood. Why not? So this... It doesn't really matter how... If we had sharks, it would matter how deep this is, but... Or how wide this is, but we don't. But I'll build it like we're gonna get sharks in the future. So 6 wide, 3 high if you have sharks. If you have chests, it's not as important. We get some wire. That's nice. I like free wire. We're definitely low enough. We might be a little bit lower than I'd like, because I don't want enemies dropping in on my head. But this is mostly to... Like, we have enough ectoplasm for forever. This is mostly to just test this out. And I always make a mistake with wire, so that's why... We bring wire cutters. 1 bucket of lava for 6 spaces if you don't want, like, random drops, but in this case it doesn't matter. It'll just be... These mimics, we already know that they don't drop gold, they don't drop items, they just drop... mimic banners. So... Actually, actually. Quick change to this. Forgot that I brought these traps over here to make this more interesting and faster. Oops. I'm always frustrated that you can't just place wire by hand. I understand it, I guess, but it irks me a little bit. I'll wire these up. Turn this on. So now we get to mimic every... I actually don't know if I need the lava. The lava might just be in the way. But yeah, we get to mimic every... second. And they have, I think, a 12% chance, somewhere around the 12.5% chance to spawn ectoplasm because they have over 100 health. They have 500. With sharks, this goes a little bit faster. You don't need quite as much damage because sharks, I think, have 300 health, and I think they have slightly lower defense than mimics. I'm not actually entirely sure on that. But yeah, there's a few ways to speed this up. We can summon those Nimbus clouds as low as possible. They're not hitting a ton, but they will actually... Well, are they hitting? I might have made this trap Nimbus cloud proof because they're too thick, so... Yeah, that's alright, I messed up a little bit, but... If you had this trap slightly different so that there wasn't... It's actually a really easy fix for this. We just, this wood's not doing anything. Those spiky bell traps are all we need. So now we go Nimbus Cloud. Oops. This is a very strange looking trap because of the... Did I pick up the timer by accident? Yeah, I did. Turn it back on. Is Nimbus Cloud hitting now? It should be. There might just be too much going on for it to hit. I know there's some kind of like piercing damage 6 times per second cap that I don't entirely understand, and maybe that is interfering with the ability of those to hit. I don't know. That's the general sense of the trap. We can change it a little bit. We don't need to really have these blocks under it if we wanted to. Maybe you want to be able to stand directly under it. I'm being very careful because I don't want to drop lava on my head. Not really because lava on my head would mess with this or anything, but I just don't want lava pouring down my dungeon and destroying everything ever. So to prevent that, we're gonna make a little bit of safety. There we go. So one of the best things to, if you want to like kill these guys, not happy with these ravens. They're going away. Sharknadoes should actually do. Ooh, Bone Lee could mess me up. Kill him. Oh, all of a sudden the enemies are invading now that I've unsummoned my minions for a second. Alright, so we have 5 Tempests that do a ton. Switch gear. Another one that does reasonable amount. Switch back. Now I believe that these Tempests will be able to get in there. Can't tell if they are or not. They should be able to kite through those enemies. Definitely not seeing damage like they are, so... At any rate, the mimics are dying fast enough, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. The scythe that is dropped during the eclipse is like the best weapon for semi-AFK farming these guys, because you get to just... Like, it travels through walls, so you just really go to town on these guys. You kill them as quickly as they spawn. I'm sure there's a way to make this faster, probably with what I have on me, but... So you feel like something in there. I guess you're doing work. I can't really tell. Get your buddy in there. So, I'm at 20 ectoplasm already. I'm almost at the amount of ectoplasm. It's really hard to tell what's going on now, but yeah. I'm now over the amount of ectoplasm that I got from doing the dungeon kind of fairly. So that was actually faster. It's a faster way to get a bunch of ectoplasm than I know I keep stopping talking at odd times tonight, but I'm just... A lot of things that... Inventory management always takes my attention away from me a little bit. Especially when it involves lava. Tons of bugs out tonight. That's probably good. I think that's still a good sign that you should go get, like... That you should go, truffle worm farming. But... And the Sharknadoes are being kind of pacifists while I'm catching fireflies. Sometimes they destroy fireflies. But... At any rate, you've seen two different ways to get ectoplasm, kind of the fair way and kind of a... Not even like a really like a complicated farm, but just, you know, the simplest farm possible for ectoplasm. You can put more statues in there if you have... I only had one statue available, but if I had multiple mimic statues, or if I had like shark statues, I could make it better. I could even improve the farm by putting like my jellyfish statue in there, and then I'd be getting a lot of money while I was doing that, but you know, money's easy to come by. So that was kind of a peaceful episode for us. We got to kind of relax and not push too hard, and I think next time when we come back we'll do some frost moons. So thank you for watching. I will see you later.